news source for all things real estate in the Charlotte metro region. I am Ann Rudd with LPT Realty and owner of the Ann Rudd Group, and we are starting a little late today because the phone wouldn't stop, and sometimes my clients need me pretty quickly. So I'm here a little bit late, but happy Monday to you. I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. Mother's Day weekend is sort of slightly the start of summertime, not quite. We got a few more weeks to go before we get like the official weekend of summer, but this is sort of the start. It's interesting. My daughter graduated from the University of South Carolina on Saturday, and the exact weekend 12 months ago, 365 days ago, I was moving her out on graduation weekend, and it was 96 degrees in Columbia. If you've never been to Columbia, it's the hottest daggone city I've ever been to. But this weekend, it was in the 70s. It was cloudy. It was spitting rain a little bit. It was cool, and it was spectacular when it comes to weather. I don't have any problems with hot weather, but when you've got 90, 87, mid 80s grandparents coming to graduation, it is a concern. So it was a great weekend. I hope you had a good weekend. And it's Market Mondays. We're going to talk about the market, what happened in the last 12 months or 7 days. I'm sorry, not the last 12 months. And let's just talk about all things real estate today. So I'm going to share with you my screen. I just pulled these up, this search on Matrix, which is our MLS. And I wanted to make sure that you had what you needed to see what we're looking at. We're looking at actives from the 5th of May. I'm going to click this to the 12th of May. Okay. I'm doing this for except for coming soon. Let's just leave that alone. But we're doing actives, under contracts, show and no show, and closed. And I might look at expireds this week. I think we're going to start looking at that one because I find that to be an interesting data point as well. Always single families, no new construction. I know, but new construction it's just a different beast. So I don't do new construction. I'm really worried about resales. I know new construction is doing very well right now, but let's just deal with what we can and do resales. And then we're looking at all of these counties. So all the counties surrounding center of the city, Charlotte, Mecklenburg, of course, Cabarrus, Union, York and Lancaster counties in South Carolina, Gaston and Iredell counties. That's what we got. That makes up the largest portion of our metro region. And so what we have here is 1,711 transactions in this group. And I'm just going to hit results. And then we're going to look at our stats. So here's what we're looking at. Active right now for the last week, 662 listings. Under contract show, we have 410. Under contract no show, we have 210. Closed, we have 407. Okay. Now, if we start thinking about things in terms of like months of inventory, one of the things that we calculate and we assume when we are calculating months of inventory is if homes sell at the same rate and no more come on the market, how long will it take for those homes to sell? And we can see that last week, 407 homes sold in those counties that we talked about over the course of the last week. And we can see that we are listing right now more homes than are selling. I just looked at some data from a couple 3 years ago where we had in our entire region like 0.7 months of inventory, like less than a month of inventory. And that's when things get real bad for buyers. And I know during COVID, interest rates were low, but pricing went through the roof because everybody was purchasing. And for me, I'm looking at this from the perspective of a buyer or a seller, and what is a good market for both of them. Okay. This, I think, is a stronger market for a buyer, even though it is a good seller's market still. Okay, because we don't have that inventory level that's gotten above five months, but we are seeing more homes being listed right now than are being sold, which means there is some inventory out there for you buyers. Okay, now on the flip side of that, for sellers, I showed a house on Friday, a very high price point for our market. And that house went on the market Friday morning and was off the market by Saturday night in a 2 million plus price point. These homes, the best homes, are still selling very quickly. So make sure whatever you're doing, you're paying attention to the market. That is why we take a look at this every single week. So let's get back. I'm going to stop preaching and start looking at data. Average list price for these active homes right now, $626,828. Let's see if that tracks with the under contracts and sold. Okay, so average under contract show, 581,951. Not massive amounts of difference between the 626, but it is different. Under contract no show, we're at 605. Okay. And then closed, we are at 639. So if you look at this close price, average close price, or I'm sorry, here's the close price, 627. And we're looking at the average list price right now of 626. That tracks pretty close with each other. Now, expireds, we had 22 expired listings. Those are homes where the listing agreement has ended for that house. And it did not sell. Okay. Now, I don't know what this dollar house is. I might have to go look at it. No, don't have any idea. But you can see in North or in this region, and I don't even know what this is about. Original list price of 56 million, and now the list price is 8.3. That might have been a typo. I don't really know. Average, the under contract shows our max number is 2.75 million. Under contract no show, our max is 7.495 million. We're going to take a look at that house because I'm fascinated with it. And max closed house, our big house for the closed period last week, was 4.645 million. And then we had a 1.99 million that went under when expired. So you can see all these homes, see all these prices, see these numbers, see this data, and it does paint a picture of what's going on in the market right now, which is we've got some inventory. $1 million properties are still selling. Here's a home that sold for closed for 85,000. This is interesting. And we have an under contract that went under contract for 74.9, and we have one under contract show that went under contract, or the list price was 55,000. So we are seeing these. And then we have a home that was listed last week for 110,000. So they're out there. They're out there. So let's go take a look at some of these houses, and I'm just going to sort these by price. Y'all know that I like to look at these houses. Okay. And I don't even know what that big one was, but anyway, so here's a house. This is the 7.495 million that went under contract. It's in Mooresville. What a shocker. This is a big house on the lake. These are great photos. I really do like the twilight photos in some of these homes, but sometimes they look a little manufactured. So here we have a big house. Its primary heated living is 8,360 square feet, but there are some spectacular views here of the lake, and I think that is a good looking house. Here's one that sold for 3.7 million in Cornelius also, and this is a monster house, another 8,800 square foot house. We have seen this one before because it went under contract while we were talking about this. So it's good to see that these homes are closing. Let's see if we can find something else that's not in at the lake. Here is a house in Wendover in Charlotte, 28211 zip code, that closed at 2.77 million last year. It's a 5,005 square foot home. I'm sorry, it closed last week. You can take a look at this house and see its detached garage, its entryway here, screen porch. And this home, let me see, was built. When was this house built? It was built in 2024. So this is a relatively newly constructed home. Very farmhousey looking on the inside. And that is a pretty good looking house. Now, we'll just take a look at one or two more. Let's see. Here's here's one that closed in Ballantyne Country Club for 2.6 million. McCullers Court. This is a big house, and yeah, I thought this one was on the golf course. This is on the fairway. I believe it's on the fairway, and this is a more modern home. It has, I think this one's been renovated. Yeah, this home was built in '99, and some of these homes around Ballantyne Country Club, Providence Country Club, some of them are dated and show it. Obviously, this house has been renovated. It's really pretty, but it's more of a modern reno than so many of the farmhousey looking homes. But this is a big house, 6,900 square foot house. Got a great view of the golf course there, but you know, you're not right on top of it. This is a good house. I like this house. And then let's take a look at one more that closed. Let's look at Meadow Road in Cornelius. That was listed for 2.5 million, built in 1990. I love the little playhouse here. That's very cute. Let's see what this is. Okay, it's also a lake property, so lakefront. You know, I do like this view with the door open, although it's a very glaring look at what's behind it that's keeping this door from swinging open more. Just some little staging thoughts about this, because this is a pretty wide piece of furniture for this foyer. All right. I kind of like the wallpaper. Just call me old. I don't care. This house looks like it's had some renovation as well. Let's take a look at the kitchen, because that's going to tell us everything we need to know. That looks great. I like the black cabinets and the white marble countertops. Not everybody does it. I don't have a problem with the black cabinets. I like them, but a lot of people want white cabinetry and just an all white house. I'm kind of into the moody colors a little bit. Maybe it's because I'm a little moody. I don't know, but this is a great house as well. So that's what we're looking at with you know, what's happening in the world of the real estate. I did want to look through here just a second to see if there was anything like not in Mecklenburg County, and I see a couple. I see something in Tega Cay. So this is going to be a Lake Wiley property, and man, what a modern house. I'm kind of digging this, but you've got a very traditional home here. You've got traditional homes here, and then you've got this. But what a great looking house. And then I did see one in Waxhaw, so I want to look at that because I do live I live in Union County, and this is in Woodhall, and this home is active. That's a great backyard. I don't know about you, but I think that's a great backyard. And then there was also one in Weddington on Verbena. And this is the home that I saw this weekend. And it is absolutely spectacular. This is a spectacular home. Okay, so this is what we got. I did want to take a look at the